Massive news for MONAD. This just in. Chainlink integrates Coinbase Bitcoin into the MONAD ecosystem. So if you have your MONAD staked on the MONAD network, or if you are holding your MONAD, participating in the ecosystem, you could take some of your MONAD now to purchase Coinbase Bitcoin in MONAD. So if you are say for example, MONAD makes a massive move, right? 10x, 20x, 30x, etc. And then you have a ton of profits and you're like, man, I would love to buy some Bitcoin right now. Well, you don't have to leave the MONAD ecosystem to get exposure to Bitcoin. Now you could just swap in MONAD in the ecosystem for Coinbase Bitcoin, right? Coinbase Bitcoin is the wrapped version of Bitcoin in circulation. Coinbase Bitcoin is also on Base Chain network, right? And now with this Chainlink partnership, the Chainlink CCIP, it is also possible for you to get access to Bitcoin on MONAD. This is massive stuff. This is exactly what I keep talking about, guys. The team is building, they're executing, they're partnering with the right people. This is Coinbase's first ICO project, right? MONAD is, right? This is the first one. So I would think Coinbase wants this to be successful. I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a connection here, or a correlation between Coinbase and the MONAD team to get Coinbase Bitcoin on MONAD, right? That way, for example, like I said, mass adoption takes place on MONAD. You have massive gains on MONAD, 30x gains, and instead of going to stable coins, you just want to put your profits in Bitcoin. Well, instead of having to go through, I got to send out the MONAD to an exchange and then I got to swap on the exchange, or etc., right? Then I have to withdraw the Bitcoin to my ledger or my Tangent, etc. You literally just have to, if you're already in the ecosystem, just quickly swap to Coinbase Bitcoin. Boom, just like that. Let me actually check Dex Screener, see if I'll see it on MONAD's Dex Screener as well. Let's see. Hold on one second, guys. Let's see. Let's take a look real quick. If I search CBTC, will it appear? CB. What is it? CBBTC. Okay, so it's on Coinbase here. It's not populated on Dex Screener as yet, but I'm sure it's already in Dexes, right? As you can see, this is on Base Chain, right? Coinbase wrapped Bitcoin. It's already on Base Chain, but now with this integration, it's also on MONAD. So I'm sure it's going to populate, I'm sure it's going to populate, but I'm sure if you try to swap in like on Uniswap or in your MetaMask Phantom wallet, you could swap it, right? So this, like I said, this is massive news. This is super bullish. Again, users can see Coinbase wrapped Bitcoin, CBBTC is now live on MONAD and powered by Chainlink CCIP. Also, this means that the team is rubbing shoulders with Chainlink as well. Massive stuff that is happening here. Users can now utilize Coinbase's CBBTC in the MONAD DeFi ecosystem. So somebody like me, right, who's trading MONAD and trading on things on MONAD, like I said, all the memes I talked about and a couple of the projects on in the multiverse, NAD.fun hackathon recently, I get some gains. I get some massive gains. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put some in USDC because that is already available on MONAD straight off the jump, and I'm gonna toss some into the wrapped Bitcoin, Coinbase's wrapped Bitcoin. And you might be like, well, why would I buy wrapped Bitcoin? It's by Coinbase, right? So this is more trusted. This wrapped version of Bitcoin is way more trusted than any other network, personally, in my personal opinion. It's way more trusted because it's by Coinbase, right? So that'd be great to use as well, instead of having to send the money out to an exchange, gotta swap it, send it back to the hardware wallet, all of that extra jazz. You don't need that, right? Very massive stuff, really is. This is very bullish. And as you can see right here from their image, major adoption, because they know it is a major adoption, right? So MONAD right now is sitting under 22 cent right now, 0.217 cents, just under $236 million in market cap. You love to see that, man. Again, holding pretty well. very strong project. I must say so. If I say so myself, MONAD is extremely strong here, and I would I would not fade this. I think this project is a very undervalued layer one. 10,000 transactions per second, 200 plus validator nodes, the fastest EVM chain, no debates, no arguments. It is fact that this is the fastest and cheapest EVM chain. The MONAD team has built this out for years. You see they have the connections. Chainlink and Coinbase's Wrap Bitcoin, Coinbase partnership, Chainlink partnership, nothing to scoff at, right? So this is why, I talk about MONAD on the channel. Eventually people are going to, I've been talking about this for a while. Eventually it's going to pay off. And as I said, 50,000 to 100,000 MONAD is a good bet to make. I'm never telling anybody to overinvest, right? I'm not going to tell you to break the bank on any coin. Not going to tell you to put 10 to 30 to 50K, 100K in a coin. 50,000 MONAD right now is $1,087. And 100,000 MONAD is $2,174. Anywhere in that range, because obviously nothing is guaranteed. If something goes wrong, you don't lose that much, right? Obviously, the more you risk, the more reward you get. Higher risk, high reward. The more you invest, the more gains you get. But I think in this space you could not even think. I know in this space you could take $1,000, $2,000, and potentially turn it into $1 million, 6 to 7 figures. I've seen it in 2024. Like I said, guys, I've seen people do it. Even now, people are doing it on Solana meme coins, right? Hopefully they do it on MONAD meme coins too, because I'll be right there, But even now in these market conditions, people are taking tiny money and just trading one investment at a time, spot trading, no leverage, get some gains, get a 5x here, take some profits, rotate those profits, 5x here, 10x there, 3x there, and then they just compound, right? I did that as well in 2024. And I did pretty okay for myself, if I do say so the least. That was I need 2024 type conditions back, if not better, right? I think the next bull run is going to be way better, right? Because a lot of people that speak about the space say that, the recent bull run was one of the worst and it was absolutely terrible. And even though I did okay for myself personally, people that were in the space way longer than I have, since like 2017, etc., said it was the worst, right? So if it was that bad, I think the next one is going to be great. So again, you just compound those gains, right? You have 100K MONAD, 550K MONAD, goes to 10 to 30 cents. You take some profits, leaving some of the profits in there, just in case eventually long term, you hold that long term to $1, maybe $2. You never know. And then, those profits that you take, you pay some bills, pay off some debts, and then reinvest some back into the market, right? It's that simple, guys. I'm telling you. That's what I did in 2024. So it is possible, because I'm not the best trader. I'll tell you that much. I am not the best trader. I'm okay, right? I do my best, but I'm not the best, trust me. But if I was able to do it, in 2024, anybody could do it, right? So this is from Alpha Crypto Single. MON is forming a bull flag after a strong impulsive move up, now consolidating inside a descending channel. Structure remains constructive as long as MON holds within the flag and above prior breakout base, indicating healthy pullback rather than reversal. Breakout above the flag's upper line trend line confirms continuation with potential for another expansion leg. Oh my gosh, okay. I'm ready for the expansion leg. Let's go. Lose the lower boundary and the bullish structure weakens, opening room for a deeper correction. So we're paying attention to it. As you can see, man, MON is holding up here above 2 cents now. And I don't think it's going to lose that 2 cents unless Bitcoin, completely craps itself and goes down to 40, 45K, 50K, etc. That's the only way. If Bitcoin stays strong and just consolidates for the rest of the year, expect MON to stay strong and maybe even break out against Bitcoin with, these catalysts that are taking place, right? So as always, guys, none of this is financial advice. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Join my Discord. Follow me on X. And also go subscribe and watch videos on the Clips channel. All 3 links are in the description right next to each other. Please, I'd appreciate support there, guys. That's your homework. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next one.